Now, fence jumping, sudden breakups, and Colton's new hair. Bachelor Nation buzzing about part 1 of that season finale. We're unpacking all of it in the drama.
A woman attacked by a jaguar while taking a photo at an Arizona zoo. Eyewitnesses revealing what they saw when she crossed a barrier.
It's a family night out for Angelina Jolie and her kids at the Dumbo premiere.
There's a cave of wonders. Bring me the lamp.
A whole new world and a whole new trailer for Disney's live-action Aladdin movie starring Will Smith.
Plus,
oh, I don't really know if that's the right fabric. And then you look at them and they're like, but it's like all I have.
fashion designer Siriano and Project Runway's new host Karlie Kloss give us a sneak peek into the new generation of the hit show.
It's all today on People Now. Let's go.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to People Now. Last night, part 1 of the Bachelor finale, everybody.
To the end, which is crazy.
Very emotional. Colton, he ended things, spoiler alert, ended things with Tayshia and Hannah G, then left us with a major cliffhanger as he waited outside Cassie's door for another chance. What will happen?
What's going to happen? We will see how that plays out tonight. But as the show winds down, we're already looking to the future. We want to know who you think would make the best Bachelorette.
We move on so quickly.
I know, we really do. So if you could choose, would you pick Tayshia or Hannah G? Vote in our People poll, or just tweet us your answer with the hashtag PeopleNow. It could be someone else. You could write it in. We're taking write-ins as
I
well.
don't want to influence the masses.
Oh no, what do you?
Tayshia.
I like Tayshia too. I do.
I like both of them. I think it's Tayshia.
All right.
We'll check in on the results in a little bit, but for now, we have to get into one of the most intense moments of Monday night's episode. So that episode of The Bachelor has Colton crying, and then crying a little bit more. One of the biggest shockers was after that infamous fence jump, which was wild and kind of uneventful. He just trailed off, and then it turned into an episode of Cops as Chris Harrison chased him with the production crew. In the wake of Cassie breaking up with him, Colton decided to break up with Tayshia and then also break up with Hannah G, which had Bachelor Nation shook. And on Monday night, Hannah G came face-to-face with Colton for the first time since he broke her heart. Hannah G telling him that she thought they both loved each other, and after Colton asked for Hannah's father's permission to marry her, she thought it was going to be them in the end, because I guess she had never seen the show. Colton was honest about his feelings towards Cassie and just felt there was something stronger there, and you can't fault the guy for that, obviously. When Chris Harrison asked if he ever considered a final date with Hannah G, Colton said no, which kind of hurt. Kind of keeping it real though, 100 the whole time. Colton added, the night that I quit The Bachelor and I didn't want to be The Bachelor anymore, looking back was a little selfish because I had to still have conversations with you and Tayshia. The emotions were running high, my emotions were everywhere. In that moment, the show was over. That's what Colton said, which was a really dramatic moment and kind of a definitive time for him. Glad there was a contract there. Show can't be over, pal, till the end. Hannah G understood his view the whole time, also said that she could relate. Watch this.
I feel like I can relate in a sense to that feeling because I don't know how to say this the right way. But what Cassie did to you was exactly what you did to me, and I was left with nothing.
Wow. It was really intense throughout that portion of the show. And a little later on this show, we're going to be unpacking that moment and so much more with Bachelor alum Caila Quinn and People editor Michelle Corriston. Stick around for that. Now we move on to something very different. Take a look at this.
We see a girl come running around the corner and yelling, you know, help, 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 somebody come help me. And without thinking, I just ran around the corner and I see a young girl with her arm up against the cage with the jaguar's claws digging into her arm and her flesh. She just collapses to the ground in agony and in pain.
Now, this is really wild, guys, very scary. A witness there from the now viral incident at an Arizona zoo where a woman was attacked by a jaguar after crossing a barrier to take photos. Now, if you see the video here, this is the aftermath of the incident once the woman was released from the grips of that jaguar. Witnesses to the attack actually used a water bottle to distract the animal and had to rip the woman's jacket from its claws. While the woman did require stitches, she was later sent home from the hospital in a cast. Referring to herself only as Leanne, the woman spoke out Monday to CBS News' Errol Burnett. She says the black jaguar was up against the fence. We happened to be walking by and said, hey, let's get some good pictures. She later explained, I was in the wrong for leaning over the barrier, but I do think that maybe the zoo should look into moving their fence back. She added, anybody can reach out. I'm not the first, and if they don't move the fence, I'm probably not going to be the last. That was her quote. Now, while Leanne has accepted responsibility for the situation, she isn't the only one who thinks the enclosure could be more safely arranged. In fact, a man named Jeff Allen told ABC 15 Arizona that he was hurt by the same jaguar at the same enclosure last summer. At the time, he received 8 stitches and hired an attorney. He tells ABC that he wasn't after money, but was hoping the zoo would add more protection. He said this, "If my 3-year-old grandson wanted to cross over this barrier, he could do it." In immediate response to the incident, the Wildlife World Zoo tweeted a statement explaining the situation with the caption saying, "Please understand why barriers are put in place. Sending prayers to the family tonight." On Monday, the zoo tweeted another statement saying, "We want to thank everyone who supports Wildlife World and our decision not to euthanize the jaguar after Saturday's incident." The person involved met privately with zoo officials to acknowledge her regret for her role in the past weekend's events. She did receive stitches, but was not admitted into the hospital and was home later that night. World Wildlife staff and administrators appreciate her sincere apology, and we look forward to welcoming her and her family back at a future date. Now, the jaguar has been temporarily removed from that enclosure. Mickey Olson, director of the Wildlife World Zoo, told CBS, "When people do not respect the barriers, there's always a chance that there might be a problem." Leanne also told CBS, "We're all human, we make mistakes, and I learned my lesson." Now, I will say this. We were talking about it a little bit. I understand, like, an adult needs to respect the rules.
Yeah.
But I agree with what that man said, because I've been to the zoo with my girls, and there should not be any way that a kid could get in if they even wanted to.
Absolutely.
Or an adult, for that matter.
Because these animals are very dangerous, as we saw, and you don't want that to keep happening, especially if this jaguar has done this before, and injured somebody because they were able to get over or lean over. It's very scary stuff.
And look, you would imagine, again, adults need to be responsible. People need to be smart about this. But from the zoo's perspective, there's already been a similar incident. You would think they would go to great lengths to make sure that doesn't happen
I mean, they
again.
definitely should now. I'm glad that she's okay. It's such a scary thing.
It's really scary. And some of that video stuff was going viral, and it came up in my feed, and it was shocking, and it was just
very graphic.
Really frightening. Glad it wasn't worse. Let's move on to this. Another shocking story for a very different reason. Pretty bizarre. Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin are among 50 people charged in a nationwide college admissions cheating scam on Tuesday. It's according to the Associated Press. The actresses have been indicted by the FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office in Boston. Racketeering conspiracy charges were unsealed against coaches at schools, including Wake Forest University, Georgetown, and the University of Southern California. Now, authorities say the coaches accepted bribes in exchange for admitting students as athletes, regardless of their ability. Prosecutors also allege that fake athletic profiles were made to make students look like strong high school athletes when, in fact, they actually were not. The actresses are charged with conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services mail fraud. Prosecutors say parents paid an admissions consultant, get this, $25 million from 2011 through February of this year to bribe coaches and administrators to label their children as, quote, recruited athletes to boost their chances of getting into schools. According to the criminal complaint, the FBI recorded phone calls involving the celebrities and a cooperating witness. Loughlin's husband is also on the list of those indicted. Huffman's husband, actor William H. Macy, is not indicted. This story is still developing. We're going to have a little more from a press conference that's going on regarding this specific story a little later in the show, so we'll have some updates. Stick around for that. For now, though, Andrea, you have more for us in Star Treks.
Yes, I do. We are kicking off Star Treks today with a royal reunion and some regal fashion while we're at it. Meghan Markle and Kate Middleton reunited on Monday and even showed off their curtsies. The royal women and their husbands, Prince Harry and Prince William, attended a Commonwealth Day service at Westminster Abbey. The couples arrived separately, and once inside, Meghan and Kate greeted each other with a friendly kiss on the cheek while the brothers shook hands. Kate then greeted her father-in-law, Prince Charles, with a double kiss on the cheeks, while Meghan appeared to dip into a curtsy before giving him a friendly hello. Kate, Meghan, and Camilla then all showed their respect for the Queen when she entered by dipping into synchronized curtsies. The women bowed again after the monarch greeted a line of guests. Now, curtsies are an interesting thing here. A palace insider says there's no hard and fast rule when it comes to curtsying. Apparently, if a member of the public doesn't curtsy, the Queen doesn't take offense. All right, then. It's also apparently uncommon to see members of the immediate family bend and bow to Prince Charles. So it is possible Meghan's brief curtsy was a minor slip-up.
Oh, no.
Either way, I'm sure it didn't really matter. Either way, it was nice to see Meghan and Kate together again with their royal husbands standing side by side on Monday. And it wasn't Kate's only outing of the week. On Tuesday, she was out visiting a children's center in South London. She dazzled in a casual chic look, a purple Gucci blouse paired with high-waist, wide-legged pants by Jigsaw. She also carried a lilac purse. course. The Duchess of Cambridge played with children at the nursery, seemed to enjoy herself as she swapped kid stories with the other parents. And Kate revealed a fun fact about her youngest, sharing that Prince Louis has started to really enjoy his walker. Very cute. All right, now watch this.
What's happening? It's just, this is a clock, and it's basically to remind him that time is ticking, and he should hurry up and propose. So yeah, I did that.
I love Ellen so much. Ellen DeGeneres is taking credit for Jennifer Lopez and Alex Rodriguez's recent engagement. While sending her congratulations to the two lovebirds on the latest episode of Ellen, she revealed she may have been the one who gave A-Rod the push that he needed to pop the question when she had the engagement talk with J-Lo back in February. So last week, J-Lo took the internet by storm when she revealed that she and A-Rod were engaged. We were very excited. The engagement news came via Instagram with this photo of the couple holding hands, and you know, that massive rock that you can't not see there. But what's even more interesting about this photo, besides the very impressive ring, there's only one person tagged in the picture. It's not who you would think. It's actually Ellen. So she promptly responded to the Instagram with a comment reading, "Yes, I'll be your maid of honor." But get this, Ellen's February push for J-Lo and A-Rod to get engaged actually wasn't her first. She's been doing this for a while. Back in November, Ellen joked with Jen, saying Alex had texted her saying that he was ready to pop the question, then continued saying the couple should get married because they seem happy. And happy they are. A source tells People A-Rod popped the question during a romantic getaway in the Bahamas, and that J-Lo is completely overwhelmed with joy since that moment. Our congratulations to them, and of course a shout out to Cupid herself, Ellen. Job well done making that happen.
Yeah, right.
I need her in my life. Get the ball rolling on
Get the ball
that.
rolling. You know what? It's funny. We were looking back. I did not notice that photo tagged. I looked back to see it, and I see that it is tagged with the Ellen show.
Yeah, no, when we covered the story at first, we didn't see it. We missed it. I think it's hilarious that they just
funny.
tagged her.
I can't wait till they appear together on the Ellen show, which will undoubtedly happen.
That will definitely
Right?
happen.
Now
All
that
right,
they're here.
moving on to this. Monday evening's Dumbo premiere in Los Angeles was a family affair. Angelina Jolie enjoyed a night out with some of her brood. The 43-year-old accompanied daughters Zahara and Shiloh, as well as twins Vivian and Knox, who she shares with ex-husband Brad Pitt. This is for the Disney showing at El Capitan Theater. The mother of six stunned in a white gown with sheer accents. Zahara opted for a black sequin dress and sneakers, while her siblings sported shirts and pants, with Knox rocking a navy blue suit. They're very fashionable there. Jolie will also be starring in her own Disney film Maleficent, Mistress of Evil this fall, and the family really looked like they were having fun. I love seeing them together. Monday evening's outing comes just a couple weeks after Jolie made a rare appearance with all of her children, including sons Maddox and Pax, for a screening of The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind in New York City. So Angie and the fam are enjoying some carpets lately. Good for them. Another family out for the event was Mario Lopez and his entire family. They came out to celebrate the new movie. His pregnant wife, Courtney, opted for an all-black ensemble that showed off her growing baby bump, which Mario proudly cradled in a few photos that you see here. Very cute. They look in love and happy and smiley. In January, the couple revealed on Instagram that they are expecting their third child in July. Mario opened up to people following the sweet announcement and called it a Christmas miracle. They make some cute babies, Jeremy, so we're not upset about another baby on the way, that's for sure. All right, and those are your Star Treks for today.
Yeah, they're a really beautiful family.
They really are.
Yeah, stay with us, guys. It's the next generation of Project Runway. Karlie, Kloss, and Christian Siriano giving us the lowdown on what we can expect this season. Plus, could this be the most dramatic Bachelor finale in history? We are breaking down the first night of the two-part finale. That's coming up in just a little bit.
All right, so part one of last night's Bachelor finale sent Tayshia and Hannah G packing their bags, but when one door closes, another one opens.
Or maybe a
sometimes.
window, something.
Yeah, something. So we've been asking who you want to see as the next Bachelorette between these two. Let's check in on our results so far.
Cannot see it. There it is.
There we go. We like the slide reveal there.
By far.
You know, people really like Hannah G. From the beginning, people really like her.
Wait, is it because she was so I wonder what's behind. I mean, I like her too. I just think Tayshia is ready for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. I like Tayshia. I would vote for Tayshia, but
Maybe people feel more sorry for Hannah G because last night
it was pretty heartbreaking.
It
But it was heartbreaking for both of them. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, I'm surprised. Guys, you have shocked me. Keep voting in our People poll. We'll go get to a full recap of last night's episode in just a little bit, but now we move on to this.
All right, so fans are upset with Ariana Grande after learning that her new Starbucks Cloud drink isn't vegan, even though the singer has claimed to be vegan for several years.
Oh, the outrage here.
Oh, here we go.
Get ready. Ariana collaborated with Starbucks to make this drink. They're calling it the Cloud Macchiato Espresso, vanilla flavored syrup, caramel sauce, egg foam and milk. There's where we got a little problem.
There we go. So Ariana addressed the milk issue by tweeting out that she only gets the drink with soy milk. However, that doesn't solve the issue of the egg foam or caramel drizzle that contains dairy.
People noticed and people are not happy. Starbucks tweeted out this intro for the drinks, made sure to mention in that intro that it contains egg whites, so they're not trying to advertise it as something that it's not, to be clear.
And people aren't happy with this. So one Ariana fan tweeted in part, just not sure why you would be an ambassador for this particular drink if you're vegan. Would have been nice to see you use your influence for a plant-based food option or a drink that can be made vegan. I'm curious if Ariana knew when she was, I mean, she had to have known, right?
Or what level she's at with it.
Well, that's true. Like some vegans still eat eggs. I don't know if you're difference if you're a strict vegan or not.
Yeah, a barista at Starbucks named Ray weighed in. Ray from
Thanks,
Starbucks.
Ray.
He has a similar opinion, noting that you literally cannot make this specific drink vegan. He says, if you take away the caramel sauce and egg foam, it's just a vanilla macchiato, everybody.
And
Hello.
Another Twitter user is quick to point out that Ariana claims to love animals, but then turns around and releases a drink with egg whites as a main ingredient. Yeah, so people aren't very happy about this.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. Ariana never promised that the drink would be vegan.
Yeah.
Right, that's part of it. So, I mean, I don't know. A lot of people excited about it still. Here's the deal. The problem is, we were all talking about this and how when a celebrity comes out sort of standing for a cause of any kind, anything at all that seems to contradict that or not be in line with it is obviously going to get a reaction. But with the vegan stuff, there are people. Some people have different levels of sort of commitment to it.
Yeah, I don't know if she's said that she's a strict vegan, because then that obviously deviates from that. I mean, knowing Ariana, she's probably going to respond again. She responded about the milk, but she's someone that always wants to make sure her fans feel heard. So she's probably going to talk more about it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure she'll clear it up. Either way, it sounds delicious.
It really does, yeah.
To me, I personally, not a vegan, excited for the drink.
I am too. All right.
All right, here we go, guys. A much more serious note as we move forward.
So Luke Perry's daughter is clapping back at internet trolls who are criticizing her grieving process.
In a candid social media post on Monday, Sophie Perry revealed that in the wake of her dad's death 1 week ago, she's actually faced criticism from internet trolls that have shamed her for her language, for her wardrobe, and part of her grieving process.
You know, it's times like this I hate the internet, and I hate that people even do this. Sophie posted this photo saying that she's been receiving a lot of online attention. While most of it is positive, people reaching out and giving her support, some of it has been negative.
Here's how she captioned the post. Part of it said, quote, I did not ask to be thrown into some virtual spotlight, and while I don't mean to offend anybody, I'm also not going to cater to anyone else's needs and beliefs.
She shouldn't have to. Although Sophie said that she's mourning in private, she's not allowing her father's loss to prevent her from embracing the present.
Yeah, so she went on to say this, I'm not going to sit in my room and cry day in and day out until the internet has deemed it appropriate for me to do otherwise. And if you knew my dad, you would know he wouldn't want me to. So you shouldn't either.
Well, and there was also people, some of the cast has spoken out because they were getting backlash about not posting, you know, something about grieving for Luke Perry. And they said Luke Perry didn't even like social media.
Yeah.
You know, so he obviously would be fine with you, like, posting what you want. That's not a direct reflection of how you are grieving and how you're living your life.
Yeah, she had more of that post. She goes on to add, so to those of you shaming me for my language and my wardrobe and most disgustingly, my grieving process, do us both the favor and just unfollow. It's a waste of both of your time. That was part of her post. I agree with you 100%. Generally speaking, it's like this happened to her, not the fans. This is her direct connection, right? This is her father. She can grieve however she wants.
Well, exactly.
And it's just unbelievable the freedom people feel online to weigh in what really is the most cruel way and the most vulnerable moment, and basing it all, by the way, on what they're seeing someone post on social media, which isn't necessarily even a representative of what's actually going on in their life.
Yeah, and this is all very fresh, and this, you know, just happened. It was last week. Luke's rep confirmed that the Beverly Hills 90210 actor had died at the age of 52.
Yeah, to kind of backtrack and give you a recap of what happened, Luke was hospitalized after he suffered a stroke on February 27th. He died 5 days later on March 4th, surrounded by his entire family.
And Sophie was in Malawi at the time. She was on a charity trip. She'd rushed home to Los Angeles as soon as she heard the news about her dad. You know, she first broke her silence in an Instagram post days after his death was made public. In her heartfelt post, she explained that everything had happened so fast for her. She received a lot of support, yet she didn't know how to handle it all, especially in the public eye.
Yeah, I think people need to give her a break. And she pointed out there's kind of no rule book about how you go about life after your dad happens to be an icon and then passes away. What do you do? How do you deal with that? She's learning, right? So people kind of pump the brakes here. Let everyone grieve their own way.
Well, it's just unfortunate because social media can be a beautiful thing and people can, you know, offer their condolences and be very supportive of what you're going through. And then you have trolls that do this. So, you know, I think obviously what you said, just let her grieve and stop commenting if you have nothing nice to say.
There you go. Settled.
All right. Have you seen this yet? Take a look.
Get over there! Get them! Stop! Please! You three, get back here!
stumbled upon an opportunity. I can make you rich. Rich enough to impress a princess. What would I have to do? There's a cave of wonders. Bring me the lamp.
O great one who summons me, I stand by my oath, loyalty to wishes 3. I'm kidding. Watch this.
Watch out! You done wound me up. You ain't never had a friend like me.
Hey, can you make me a prince?
There is a lot of gray area in Make Me a Prince. I could just make you a prince.
Oh, no.
Y'all see my palace?
Here we go. Disney just dropped the official trailer for Aladdin. The live-action adaptation hits theaters May 24th. I don't know, Jeremy, it makes me nervous because I always have high expectations for Disney movies.
I think this is great for it because there has been mixed reaction to some of the images that we've seen of Will Smith.
Oh yeah, a lot of
in
people
blue,
making
the
fun.
whole thing. And this to me, I'm not joking. When I watched this, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Better.
Right? I'm more excited about it now. It's directed by Guy Ritchie. The movie stars obviously Will Smith playing the beloved Blue Genie, but as we see there, not blue the whole time. There's like this. It seems like they're kind of going in and out. And when he first starts saying doing the voice, I was
You're
like,
like,
please
no,
God, no,
I'm
don't
not
let
into
that be
this.
it. And then he breaks and it's a joke.
Like, okay.
The trailer shows off more than the movie's iconic musical sequences, including the famous song "A Whole New World." I might be more excited about the music than anything. I love this.
I know. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see Will Smith in this. There's a lot of pressure, I think, right?
I'm just saying. I'm so relieved that the trailer is leaving me with a good feeling.
Yes.
Because I was worried
Because a
earlier.
lot of us grew up with these stories and Disney, so I just think like the bar is very high.
No, the expectations are impossible. And then they've, Beauty and the Beast. They've done all these other. The Lion King's coming out. Dumbo's coming out.
Yeah.
Which ones are going to work more than others? Are they all going to work?
But
I don't
seeing
know.
the trailer, I have a good feeling. So.
Me too. I'm excited
All
for this
right.
one. Let's move on. Watch.
I don't think we've ever seen a runway show quite like that.
I'm like sweating looking at it. I could just,
Woo!
Just watch. Yeah, just watch.
You're killing me.
You choked. I'm shaking.
I was not prepared for how tough this would be.
This is an all-new Project Runway, people.
Whoa, Project Runway returns to Bravo this season. There are a few changes. Karlie Kloss is the new host, and CFDA fashion designer Christian Siriano is the designer's mentor.
A lot to get excited about, and I sat down with both of them to get the lowdown on what we can expect with the new season. And did you know about Karlie's special connection? Watch this.
I grew up watching the show. I loved the show. It's like so much drama in like a way, in a series of like, you're watching these people develop throughout the season. You know, you're watching them, you're rooting for them, and it's intense. And they're so talented, but like, what I didn't, I guess, expect was to have so much fun and to laugh so much and to get to know the designer so well.
Honestly, I think she's the perfect host. You know, she's a lot of enthusiasm for
Yeah,
it.
and she knows that world. Even though the experience was kind of new for Karlie, Christian was returning to a show that put him on the map. He actually competed and won the show's 4th season. He told me how his experience as a mentor was different from that of designer. Watch.
It's definitely, it can be hard because you're changing these young designers' life with everything you say. So I kind of forget about that because you're just in it. And I'm like, oh, I don't really know if that's the right fabric. And then you look at them and they're like, but it's like all I have. And so the emotions that go through in a second.
And the weight of your words.
Oh my
right?
God, the
Yeah.
weight of your words is so unbelievable. So I think that's what I kind of didn't really realize as much. So as we go throughout the season, I kind of take that into consideration more and more.
And good news is Karlie says Christian did a great job.
You're such a good teacher. There's so many things that like, obviously you are, in the show, in the design studio every day, but there were so many things you would say to the designers that I'd be like, oh, that's really, really good. A good way of teaching.
I give them good criticisms.
Yes, but it's constructive. It's like,
Even though I want to be
a
like,
good place.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Get rid of it.
He's dressed so many amazing celebrities,
Yeah.
so I would trust him completely.
And I love the two of them together, like this true confessions of love for each other. It's so great. One thing, though, Project Runway made sure not to get rid of is this season's focus on inclusivity. It was really important to Karlie, Christian, and the judges to reflect what's happening in the world.
Fashion is moving forward. We're celebrating people. I mean, I talk about this a lot because, like, clothes are fun. It's like we're getting dressed. We're not curing cancer here. Like, it shouldn't be excluded from people. It's great to have, like, that, representation. And I just think all of that, because it's what the world is now. Like, so when they leave the show and they want to dress someone, if Oprah calls, I mean, she's not a 2, so, but you're not going to dress Oprah? Yes, you are.
I love him. Love both of them. We have even more with Karlie and Christian. On Thursday, you get to see them in a toilet paper challenge. Yes, toilet paper. It can be fashionable, you guys.
We'll see. It's pretty fun. Project Runway Season 17 premieres March 14th at 9 p.m. Eastern on Bravo. Now take a look at this.
We just want to make sure you're okay.
I've been through enough of knowing that I'm not enough for a long time. And every reminder of that just makes me stronger, so I'm okay with it.
Heartbreaking. Part 1 of the Bachelor season finale aired on Monday. We have a lot to unpack here, so here to break down all the highlights is People editor Michelle Corsten, Bachelor alum Caila Quinn. Welcome.
Hi. Caila, hot off the plane from Paris, just in time for Bachelor. The important stuff is how you build your schedule, and I like that. Let's talk about this. Last week ended with that infamous fence jump. This week, the aftermath of it all. After everything happened, what do you think is going through Colton's head as he enters this phase of it at that point? What do you think? I mean, how do you feel at that moment when it's all seemingly crumbling?
I think you feel devastated. Everything you were expecting, all your expectations go out the window, and you just have to figure it out. And clearly he's an emotional wreck, and we totally understand why.
Yeah. What did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I lost count of how many times Colton cried during this episode. It was really heartbreaking, but he's always said he wants to be married. He wants that commitment, and the woman who he would like to propose to, it looks like, isn't ready.
Not around. But Caila, what do you think as far as what makes him a unique bachelor, right? I mean, we're in kind of a specific situation that has never really happened exactly like this before. It's kind of a weird dynamic.
I think he's a unique bachelor because he breaks the rules without questioning it. I'm sure the producers were like, calm down, you're not allowed to quit, there's nothing you can do.
Literally cannot happen.
And he just, went berserk and did his own thing, and we've never seen someone escape like this. And clearly he needed time to think, and he did whatever he could to get it.
And we've never seen someone go into part 2 with no woman seemingly there.
Yeah. Talking about like the scene where they're looking for him and they're trying to see if he's on the side of the road.
I know.
What did you make of this? We've never seen anything like this. It seemed like a completely different show, right?
Going behind the scenes feels like it's a bit new. We saw it with Becca's season of The Bachelorette when there was that Ari breakup, but it's just crazy to see the producers, to see Chris Harrison saying, "Where is Colton? Should we call the police?" I mean, it's unheard of.
Well, it felt like I was watching Cops. It was. It was like, oh, we're in pursuit. We see some, there's a figure walking up ahead.
I know. Where was he actually going? That's the thing.
He just needed to blow off
That was scary. I still don't know.
That is a good comparison, though, about how they play this raw kind of behind the scenes thing last season when they ended, and now again this season. It does add this like fresh, what's going to happen type element, even though it's not necessarily that big of a deal, but it feels urgent. Colton takes the plunge here. He meets with Tayshia, reveals that he's in love with Cassie. This is this big moment. And you have to think back about Tayshia warning him earlier, hey, Cassie may have ulterior motives. I just feel like there's part of her in this moment that we're seeing where she's like, I told you so. A lot of people warned you about this, and now are you kidding me? Do you feel like that would be going through her mind?
Tayshia did not want to be on camera. She stayed very composed and she said, let's talk about this inside. And of course that's going through her mind. She's not the only woman that had warned Colton Cassie might not be ready. And while you have to respect her for being honest, a lot of these other women have to think, I could give him what he wants. Why doesn't he want me?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just so reflective of modern dating. It's like you always want the one that you can't have. That literally goes back home. And here's someone like Tayshia who is ready to settle down and she loves you and she wants to do this. And you're like, but I can't return the favor. I mean, so hard to watch because it's just so true to reality.
I give Colton credit though because he's staying true to his feelings. Like we've seen past Bachelor seasons where the lead will just you know, try and fall in love with the second person, or they, you know, play the story they spin the story and say, oh, I love that person all along. Just like, you know, do you remember Desiree and Brooks? I think they broke up. He broke up with her right before the engagement, and she was going to pick him. And now she's happily ever after married. And so it worked for them, but Colton's different, where he's standing his ground. And when you love somebody, that's how it should be. You're not going to just like choose somebody else.
Well, that's commendable too. I think he even said that to Hannah, like, you don't deserve to be second.
Right.
So I actually do appreciate that he just broke up with them instead of like being like, all right, I guess we'll shift to second place, because no one wants to feel that way, especially knowing that they're going to watch it back.
And I also, to that point, respect him for, as you said, being like, look, at this level, we're talking about like just little differences. Yeah, I have feelings for all of you, but if you know, he's bold enough to say, I'm not just going to do this because the show wants me to go into the fantasy suite and whatever, which is obviously a thing for him. So Tayshia and Colton, they reunited Monday night on that couch during that show. Kayla, what do you think that experience played out like? For me, I felt like she was over it. What did you think?
I do feel like she'd processed it, and when you see the season back and you see him fall in love with other people, it's really apparent how, you know, your relationship wasn't how you thought it was in reality.
Do you think he gave her enough closure?
I think he didn't give an exact reason, but you can't always explain love. You can't always explain your feelings. Also, this is a woman who's been divorced already. She's been through heartbreak. I think getting dumped by a guy who was seeing 20 other women isn't going to be the thing that makes her lose faith in love.
I also feel like, what closure can you give besides I like someone more, or I love someone more, you know? Unfortunately, people are always looking for closure, but you're not always going to get it. So I think she was over it, though. Tayshia's like...
I think at the same time, she probably heard about the ending and was kind of like, you know, you got what you deserve.
A little bit,
You're not really happy either, so that helps with closure.
All right, let's talk about Hannah G. So, you know, Hannah, like, it starts out and she's like, I love him, I can't wait to see him. Then he comes in and surprises her and breaks up with her right there on the spot, where she's like writing in her little book or whatever, her journal. What'd you make of all of this, and how Colton handled it, how Hannah handled it? What were your thoughts of Hannah G?
That was really raw.
I
mean, you could tell she had no idea. He comes to the door. She probably thought he was trying to steal extra time with her before their big fantasy suite date. And remember that Hannah G and Colton had crazy chemistry this entire time. They had that really hot shower, make-out session. And
like the mud bath.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That was them, right? Yeah.
He seemed into her.
Yeah, and Kayla, you had a tweet about this, right? Didn't you say that you shouldn't, because didn't he say you still feel like home or something?
Oh, yeah, no, he said something really deceiving that didn't give her any closure. He said, you know, I thought it was gonna be you.
Yeah.
That's literally what he said to her.
Yeah.
You don't tell somebody that before you break up with them.
Right.
Then you think, like, she's gonna walk away.
What did I do wrong?
Thinking, yeah, exactly, that it's her fault.
Yeah.
She brought that up too. She said, the fact that you said, I feel like home, just completely disarmed me, and it doesn't feel authentic.
And also, there was such a visible moment during that interaction where the switch flipped for her, and she went from like being all about him to being mad and hurt and all that. And then
embarrassed.
And then also at the sit down, live there with Chris Harrison.
Yeah.
She was not over it. Compare that to Tayshia.
Yeah.
Right? Tayshia's like, boom. Hannah needed closure from him, and I'm not sure that she got it. I mean, she only, you know?
Yeah, do you agree with how he approached the situation with her? Should he have at least done the fantasy suite, gave it some more time? Or do you think at that point he just needs to, no?
I respect him for what he did. It's hard, but can you imagine getting potentially physically intimate with someone and then doing that, or worse?
Especially knowing.
Yeah, she's in the dress, she's walking up, he has the rose. I don't know, I think it's the humane thing.
There's no way he could do the fantasy suite after he told Cassie he loved her, and then all of America would be like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when we were talking about the live show, Hannah said something interesting. She says, what Cassie did to him is what he did to Hannah G. So let's watch this clip.
I feel like I can relate, in a sense, to that feeling, because I don't know how to say this the right way. But what Cassie did to you was exactly what you did to me, and I was left with nothing.
Michelle, do you agree with this? Did Colton pull a Cassie on Tayshia and Hannah G?
I mean,
Little Cassie.
There's a little element of that there. I think she's speaking from a place of hurt. I mean, she told people in our exclusive interview with her that her family thought she was engaged coming out of this. They thought she was coming out on top. And so there is an element of she felt blindsided by Colton the way he did by Cassie.
Well, it seems like her family would have embraced Colton.
Yeah, they love him.
Now he's going
Compared
for the,
to-
he's going for the death that flew all the way to Portugal to say,
No, this is not the guy. Also, she said during that whole segment that there was this piece of her that just felt so broken because of the fact that her family was so embracing and all of that. But anyway, I don't know. She just. You want to remind her she's on a show and this always happens, but I'm sure when you're feeling it, you can't get over it. Some Bachelor alums appeared on the show to kind of offer some advice to Colton in the situation. What would your advice be for Colton if you were there?
My advice would be, I'm glad you're listening to your heart. Just, keep going for the person you love because you don't want to have any regrets.
Okay, so you actually agree that he should chase after Cassie, knock on the door, and really explore it with her?
Yeah, because you only have one chance at love, and that's the purpose of this whole journey.
Do you agree? Because there's a part of me that when I was watching this, it was like Chris Harrison even said it. Maybe she's not that into you.
That's what everyone was thinking. I mean, she told him that she wants him to be happy. I thought it was very telling when she was packing up her bags and they were filming her, and she said, I'm so excited to go home and see my family. I just want to put this behind me. She didn't seem that devastated, but also maybe things will change. Maybe she really didn't know the depths of Colton's feelings for her.
As the old song says, the heart wants what it wants.
It also says you can't always get what you want.
That's true.
Let's give our final predictions on what's going to happen when he knocks on the door. For tonight's episode, what do we think is going to happen?
I mean, I think Cassie is going to potentially give him another chance. I don't know how much she'll commit to him. She seems like she really doesn't want to get engaged without her father's approval, and that doesn't seem like it's happening right now, but we'll have to see.
All right.
Oh, gosh. I don't know. I'm conflicted. Look at her. This confused me too. It's like she's walking out, but then he came and knocked on the door. Was she still there?
Yeah.
Was she there or not? Who answered the door?
I know.
Those are continuity issues we need to talk to production about. We asked a couple Bachelor fans their predictions for tonight's episode. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
I think Colton's gonna go back and try to reclaim Casey's heart. Or I don't even think he's ever really had it, to be honest. I think he's gonna try to win her over, and somehow she's gonna get sucked in and say, okay, but we can't get married now. Let's just kind of date this thing out and see how it goes.
Well, hopefully Cassie comes back and tells Colton that she regrets her decision on leaving, but I kind of hope for some drama, and hopefully, Cassie might not want Colton back. If Cassie says no, Colton's kind of screwed.
I mean, can you imagine if he ends up with nobody after this? It's so sad and tragic.
It could be possible. He looked devastated on that couch yesterday, as if, he's been through war.
And people are so mean about his hair. And
I didn't even think it looked that different.
I didn't get it.
It did look.
I didn't get
Was it that different?
Are you kidding me? It was super spiky and sharp, and so anyway, it looked like he just, rolled in the hay.
What do you think Cassie's play is here? If he does come back, is there any chance of her just saying, I was wrong, you're right, I'm in?
Maybe, yeah. Because she went this whole season without affirmation, so.
Let's talk about this. Next season's Bachelorette will be announced tonight. Before we check our People poll, final thoughts on who you guys think it will be. The Bachelorette.
I like both of the Hannahs, actually. I think Kaylin's a great choice, too.
I like both Hannahs too.
I feel like Kaylin's a little controversial.
I think it's going to be Hannah B because Chris Harrison gave her a lot of time to kind of redeem herself yesterday with that whole champagne toast. He's trying to make America love her again, and so.
I like her. She's quirky. She's awkward. Hannah Beast. I think she's got some personality.
She does.
I like her.
Fine, then where does Tayshia go from here? Because if she's not the Bachelorette, I want to see more of her.
I know.
Bachelor in Paradise.
I guess Paradise.
Yeah.
I feel like she's too good for Paradise.
She's way too good
she's
for
a little
Paradise, but I do love Tayshia. She's got my vote.
Yeah. All right, let's take one last look at our People poll. We've been asking you who you think would make the perfect Bachelorette between Tayshia or Hannah G. Looks like Hannah G, which that was a little surprising for me. And Jana commented, she says neither, go with someone brand new like it used to be. They haven't done that in a long time.
No, they're not going to do that. There's no way. No, there's no way to do that. Because they can
Jana wants someone new. Jana, maybe.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
You think they could ever do that? Someone brand new? Like back in the early seasons.
Maybe with a guy, I think, people really gravitate towards men from the past, but with women, they're very, very forgettable.
We love seeing someone who had their heart broken get another chance.
Said very definitively, Kayla. Woo, I'm glad you said that and not me. Good Lord, can you imagine?
Kayla and Michelle, thank you for being here and sharing your thoughts. Be sure to watch part 2 of the Bachelor finale tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC.
All right, guys, we're checking back in on this developing story that we talked about earlier in the show, a nationwide college admissions cheating scam.
I mean, this is a crazy story. So Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin are among 50 people charged, indicted by the FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office in Boston.
So the charges include conspiracy to commit mail fraud and honest services mail fraud.
So authorities say coaches at schools across the country accepted bribes in exchange for admitting students as athletes, regardless regardless of their ability.
A press conference was held on Tuesday morning. Let's take a look at a little bit of that now. Watch.
We're here today to announce charges in the largest college admissions scam ever prosecuted by the Department of Justice. We've charged 50 people nationwide with participating in a conspiracy that involved, first, cheating on college entrance exams, meaning the SAT and the ACT, and second, securing admission to elite colleges by bribing coaches at those schools to accept certain students under false pretenses.
So this involves schools like Wake Forest University, Georgetown, University of Southern California.
Now, prosecutors also allege that fake athletic profiles were actually made to make students look like strong high school athletes when they actually were not.
And prosecutors say parents paid an admissions consultant $25 million from 2011 through February of 2019 to bribe coaches and administrators to label their children as recruited athletes to boost their chances of getting into schools.
So according to that criminal complaint, the FBI recorded phone calls involving the celebrities and a cooperating witness. Lori Loughlin's husband is also on the list of those indicted. Felicity Huffman's husband, actor William H. Macy, is not on the list.
Yeah, the story is still developing. I mean, this is an absolutely crazy story. We just had Lori Loughlin here. I mean, I'm interested to see what happens as more information comes out about it.
Yeah, it's such a bombshell, and for it to be this official in terms of the charges and everything else, there is going to be a lot more about this to come out. I'm sure a lot more specifics will be released.
Probably exactly from them.
Exactly what those phone calls were. There's a chance maybe later on down the road, after this is all settled, we get to hear the phone calls, which would be kind of mind-blowing. It's a shocking story.
I mean, something I didn't even know happened, and I'm sure this does happen all the time.
That's what we were talking about. Will this uncover, the staff and I were talking earlier, saying, will this uncover more of this type of scandal that goes on throughout the country in collegiate sports and things like that?
Wow.
Anyway, we'll keep you posted on all of it on people.com. But until then, coming up tomorrow, big show for you. Dorinda Medley and Ramona Singer are here breaking down all the drama this season on the Real Housewives of New York City.
They are a blast. Plus, Jay Leno has a very important message for everyone out there trying to stay healthy. Plus, you know, we're going to talk a little Jay Leno's Garage, so much more. I'm super excited to talk with Jay.
More pumped for Jay.
All right, thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from two of the Drag Me Down the Aisle queens, Alexis Michelle and Bibi Zahara Benet.
Hi, I'm Alexis Michelle. And I'm Bibi Zahara Benet. And this is One Last Thing. The last time I died of laughter was this morning. The last article of clothing I bought was a Snuggie. Snuggie, Snuggie. The last thing I learned about myself was I'm special.
You learned that a long time ago, didn't you?
But I always tell myself all day.
That's right, sis.
Every day.